they're off. The 5 runners break from the stalls for the Group 2 Jockey Club Stakes. Winners between them of 28 of their 93 racecourse appearances and more than £3 million in win and place prize money. Global Storm with a white cap and outbox beige jacket push the pace along as they head into their only turn. They're tracked by Hurrican Lane in the raw blue, and then West Wind Blows, the blue and yellow last but one, and the grey mare Jewel in My Crown, last of the 5-strong field, as they take the turn with the Roly Mars stretching before them. Now at this stage, Outbox is running a little isolated, more towards the far rail. Now the other 4 heading down the centre, led by Global Storm, slipstream by Hurrican Lane, in turn tracked by West Wind Blows, and then the grey mare Jewel in My Crown. So Outbox running in isolation. They've gone through the first third or so of the contest. Right on terms down the middle, Global Storm, tracked in turn by Hurrican Lane, his stablemate, and the hounds of Will Buick. Jamie Spencer in the blue and yellow silks aboard West Wind Blows has just Jewel in My Crown and Callum Shepherd in behind, as up ahead Outbox and Holly Doyle and Global Storm and James Doyle, split by much of the width of the track, continue to dictate. They race 2 lengths ahead of Hurrican Lane, held together in 3rd place. West Wind Blows sitting right on his tail, and Jewel in My Crown continues to look on. And despite running in isolation against the far rail, Outbox still right on terms with Global Storm, and the pace beginning to lift just a fraction, you fancy. Hurricane Lane is yet to be asked any serious questions, leaving the half-mile behind him. Spencer just crouching a little lower now on West Wind Blows, asking him to get competitive, and he begins to move up as fairly stylishly Hurricane Lane has come sweeping through to take over. Down to the bushes, 2.5 to go, and Hurricane Lane has gone breezing on by his rivals. Global Storm ridden along. West Wind Blows now asks for maximum effort on the right, then Jewel in My Crown. Outbox has weakened away, and it's Hurricane Lane, 4-5 lengths ahead, running downhill with a furlong and a half to go in the Jockey Club Stakes. Hurricane Lane and Will Buick 6 lengths clear. Global Storm fighting it out surely for a place only with West Wind Blows, and Hurricane Lane storming clear has simply blown his rivals away to win the Jockey Club Stakes emphatically. It's very close for second between Global Storm and West Wind Blows, then Outbox and Jewel in My Crown.
Hurricane Lane bounces back 2-1 for William Buick and Charlie Appleby. Second is Global Storm at 9-2. A stewards' inquiry here is seeing Global Storm promoted to second and West Wind Blows demoted to third, but all eyes in the end were on Hurricane Lane, who after a windy performance last time out, it has to be said, in the John Porter Stakes when 7th of 7, has completely shown a different being here, an alter ego if you like, and much more like his old self as well. Former Group 1 winner and St Ledger winner, of course. It all looked a bit worrying after that reappearance, but not so today. He is coasted home in fine style. Great to see that classy horse back to somewhere near his best.
Well, a great performance from Hurricane Lane under this man, William Buick. Much different to last time. Did you feel early on it was going to be different?
I did, yeah. He was obviously, he had the cheek pieces added on today, and I'm not sure whether they made all the difference, but he was a much fitter horse, and you know, he'd had that run under his belt at Newbury, obviously travelled down there, and yeah, today he was game on. You know, he felt like the real athlete that he is. You know, the race set up nicely for him, but he was convincing, and you know, I loved the way he went through the gears. He was, you know, it's lovely to see him back like that.
Must be a bit of a relief ultimately, because we know how talented he is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you were as good as he was last year, and then, you know, Newbury, the ground was incredibly bad, so I think that there was a bit of that as well. But look, you know, fair play to Charlie and all the team. You know, great to get him back, and you know, obviously this is on his doorstep, so no, it was perfect today.
Just touch on tomorrow and take me through the thought process behind Silver Knot and Noble Star. Was it a lot to do with their racecourse gallop?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, when they don't run in any trials and you do get them on the racecourse for a bit of work, I suppose you learn a little bit more, but you know, ultimately Charlie thought I should ride Silver Knot and James ride Noble Star, and you know, they're both high-class 2-year-olds. I'm not sure that necessarily means anything, who rides who. So they're both running. It's a good race, as it always should be.
And I know we know with Silver Knot, distance not a problem. What's your view, Noble Star-wise? He was so good last year, but do you think the mile could be a concern?
Yeah, Silver Knot, he will stay, and he's plenty of experience last year. He ran in a lot of good races, and he was only narrowly beaten the Breeders' Cup. So he ticks a lot of boxes. Noble Style, obviously, he's up 2 furlongs from last year, and when he won the Gym Crack, if you win a Gym Crack, you're a fast horse. So, which is what he is. He's very talented. So I suppose his question mark is whether he'll stay the mile or not. And tomorrow will tell us.
Cheers, Will.
Thank you.
Thanks. Charlie Appleby has seen